Hello! Today's stories come from r/EntitledParents. We have 4 Reddit stories today, but our first has received 4 updates and became one of the top posts of the month on the Entitled Parents subreddit. We'll read a best of Reddit post that has collated them all. So we start at the beginning with, Entitled Dad breaks my leg because I continuously blocked his son from scoring. We had a volleyball tournament. For reference, I'm a middle blocker, 6 foot 5 inches, and a vert of 70 centimeters. Game starts and everything goes good. Eventually, Entitled Dad's kid gets subbed in because his team wasn't scoring, and apparently he's a star player. I blocked every hit he went for, and his dad started to get visibly angry, starting to shout at me and stuff as well. After the game ended, we won, and I blocked nearly every shot from this guy. The entitled dad came to me asking what my problem is and stuff, and I said, "Sorry, man, it's my job." He started laughing and stomped on my shin. It's broken, and I'm currently in hospital writing this story, and the dad should hopefully end up in jail. Also, planning on suing for permanent damages. Doctor says I may not be able to play volleyball ever again. And I got a college offer. An update with a lot of hope. So it seems my friend was recording my volleyball match so I can reflect on what to improve on, and caught everything the guy did. My dad talked with his lawyer friends. In terms of suing, I'm able to sue him for everything I've lost. And that since I had video proof, I will be able to easily press charges and will win the case. I appreciate all the love and support from you guys. I will keep updating on how the case goes and make sure the lawyer proof reads everything to make sure it won't impact my case negatively. Thank you, everyone, and keep tuned. I can't wait to publish this video. Another update, even more good news. It's now business time and the lawyers have started working. They contacted police for footage and such and were able to identify the man, currently processing the lawsuit. In Australia, I was told it's much quicker and easier. Thanks for your advice also, guys. I have contacted the college which offered a scholarship and now awaiting a reply from them. I will be bedridden for a while, but I'm drinking my milk and eating healthy for a speedy recovery. My lawyer has informed me that publishing any videos online regarding the situation will be used against me in court. So I hope you guys can wait until after to see the brutal video. I need some rest now. I really appreciate all your guys' lovely messages and advice because it's helping me get through a tough time now. Update. Entitled Dad wants to settle outside of court. He has agreed to pay everything, as long as it's not taken to court. My lawyer told me I can take this to court. He gets a criminal record, goes to jail, and will still pay everything. Or I can take the high road and just settle this outside of court. I'm thinking about it, but I think someone who was ready to ruin my future should have a taste of his own medicine. My shin is actually healing, and I had another scan this morning. Doctors are saying recovery is going good, and potentially I'll be able to play again. My hopes are high. The school that I versed has apologized to me and said they will cooperate to the best of their ability. The son of the entitled dad has since been expelled from school and blacklisted from partner private schools. I want to thank everyone for all the support you guys have given me. It's really helped, especially after the mental toll that I had to put up with after being told volleyball may potentially not be something I can pursue. I'm hoping my recovery is fast and I can jump back into it. Thank you to everyone that supported me. Much love to you all. Last update for a while, Entitled Dad will go to court. I will be taking Entitled Dad to court. I can't say which charges, but I'm sure we all know. I've decided taking the high road isn't what I should do in this case. What he's attempted to do to me is disgustingly evil, and I'm sure he's done or will do worse to other kids. So in order for him to learn, while protecting the community, a court case is needed. In Australia, a court case starts within 6 months. There's no need for me to regularly update anymore, but I will update as stuff progresses. And if anything major happens, I'll make sure to update you guys. Also, I can't really be descriptive as it may hurt the case. But when the doctor redid the scans, he saw my shin wasn't as badly injured as initially thought. I will be able to play volleyball again. Best news I've heard in forever. College got back to me and are happy to delay my scholarship. Really good news for me. Not sure how long the court case will take, so I don't really have much to update anymore, but I'll try to answer as much as possible in the comments. I hope the case goes as fast and as smooth as possible. After the court case, I will have all rights to publish the video, so I will definitely post that. Edit by reposter user Swatgirl. There have been some comments saying OP didn't sound Australian and some of the details didn't match up. It is definitely a possibility that the story is fake, but I'm providing some of OP's comments for context below. First, the fast timeline. I think the first post was on a Sunday. The second was that evening, with the next either early Monday morning or later that day. Once it was a business day, I guess his dad was able to consult a lawyer and the entitled parent dad offered to settle. It was a day or two later that he said they were going to go to court. It is a fast timeline, to be sure, but Reddit just says how many days ago a post was, so it's hard to be more accurate. Next, many people are talking about how he doesn't get to decide about criminal charges. I think he was confusing the civil court with criminal sometimes. Again, could be another indicator it's fake. Third, people were mentioning the quick healing. OP clarified that it's not healed, but doctor said it was doing better than expected, or maybe less severe. He said in a comment the bone didn't puncture the skin. Finally, the university versus college distinction. I did find the comments where OP says he was going to an American college on scholarship and they were paying to move him there. Additional comments for context collected by the reposter. OP. Sorry, I meant my shin should recover within 4 to 7 months, and I'll be back on the court after some physiotherapy. Redditor. Press charges. People trying to use money to avoid facing full consequences of their actions don't learn. They just throw money at problems rather than reflect on their behavior that caused the problem in the first place. Next time, he might hurt someone worse. This is a chance to change that next time. Kind of feel bad for his kid, though, unless he also did something. OP. Well, the kid was rude to me, but I didn't include it because it wasn't relevant. But I agree losing your private school is a bit sad for your crazy dad's actions. I'll definitely take him to court so as to protect the community. OP. And also, everyone telling me I'm lying, please just wait until I can publish the video. I wish I was making up some story because the situation I'm in is heartbreaking and potentially my future has been ruined because some dad couldn't control his fumes. Someone asked why the star player wasn't starting. To answer, the team has 2 star players. They rotate through subs to make sure both players aren't tired and risking injury. I should have specified this, but I was still stressed out in pain while writing. I'm hoping the university understands my situation and doesn't withhold my fully paid scholarship, because I'm genuinely really good. Not to sound narcissistic. And I definitely had a future in volleyball. Why was he able to do this to me? Everyone went to locker rooms. I was still on the court, relieved that I was able to carry the game. We were all expecting to lose, but my blocks saved us so many times. So I took a moment to take it in, and he came up to me. I didn't expect it, or I would have held my guard. Normally, in Australia, people don't do crazy stuff like this. Again, I'm sorry for not specifying as much as I could have. I'm going to rest now knowing that lawyers and police are working. Redditor. Sorry for a dumb, unrelated question. I'm just curious. As an Australian, or any non-American for that matter, when you get a sports scholarship to play at an American university, do they help pay to relocate you? OP. Yes, they pay for flights and the place I will live in, which I assume will be a dorm. Predator. Definitely press charges. Which country is this in, by the way? Also, wow. When I read the title, I thought this was hockey or rugby or some other form of contact sport, but volleyball? That makes the dad doubly insane. I just feel sad for his kid. Hope he doesn't turn out the same, and I hope fervently that you regain full control and strength in your leg as soon as possible. OP. Australia. I got accepted to a US college because I play really well. So depressing. Redditor. Sounds like grievous bodily harm. If in Queensland, maximum penalty is 14 years or life in prison, depending on if it is proven to be an intentional act. Police will be keen to hear from you. You can get a tax-free recognition payment from the government. Basically, a grant because you were a victim. If you win in court, you must repay this. They can also pay for physio and counseling. Best of luck. I'm not a lawyer. I've been through this myself. OP. In New South Wales. Hope the outcome can be the same. Predator. I wouldn't really think being on a college volleyball team is as prestigious as you're making it out to be. But then again, maybe volleyball is a bigger deal in Australia than I realize. OP. Volleyball is not that popular in Australia, but it is very popular in the US. I got an offer with all my expenses paid off, a full scholarship, I think it's called, because I'm really skillful. My dad got me into volleyball at the young age of 5, and I had natural talent. I've been actively playing and practicing since I was 5 years old. That's 13 years. I had a chance of doing what I enjoyed, but because some guy couldn't handle his kid being blocked by me, it's so depressing that I will most likely not be able to enjoy the life I was destined to have. I'm really hoping every day that I'm strong enough and make a full recovery to the point I can start playing again. But at this point, doctors are saying it's unlikely. Assuming this story isn't fake, what the actual heck? Entitled Dad is obviously channeling his inner Tanya Harding. Because the reposter included so many comments, we'll head straight to the next story. Story 2 brings us some comedy matched only by OP's way with words. The story is titled, Just a Quick Story of a Time I Was Petty Enough to Spend Money to Deny a Spoiled Brat a Cool Toy. A few years ago, while working overseas for the military, I was doing some quick shopping at my base exchange. While standing in an aisle looking at some cleaning items, I began to hear in the distance the sound of what felt like a screaming bat-goat hybrid that just proceeded to get louder and louder. I looked out of the aisle to see the possible cryptid, but just saw a screaming little boy being pushed in a shopping cart by his mom. People around them were looking annoyed as the kid was practically screeching at the top of his lungs over and over again. I want it! I want the big gun! I want the big gun! And pointing at the toy aisle a few rows down. While passing by me, I overheard the mom telling her son, Not now, sweetie. Mommy has to get to the makeup counter. We'll pick it up on the way out. This rubbed me the wrong way. Not only was this mother okay with how her son was acting, but she was also going to reward him. I then got curious and decided to go to the toy aisle to see this big gun. I turned the corner and immediately saw what he was talking about. And I'll give the kid credit. He has good taste because on the shelf was the biggest NERF gun I had ever seen. It was called the Titan CS50, and it was just a straight-up minigun. Example, heavy weapons gun from Team Fortress. After spending a few minutes admiring it and daydreaming about how I would have absolutely destroyed my friends in the NERF gun fights we had as kids with this monster, I then realized this NERF gun was the last one on the shelf. I immediately grabbed it and then found a store employee to ask a few questions. So I said, Excuse me, can I ask a few questions about this toy? The employee responded, Yes, sir. What would you like to know? Is this the last one you have? Like, is there any more in the back? Let me check. The employee then leaves to the back of the store for a few minutes and then returns to tell me the best news possible. Hey, sir. Yeah, that one you're holding is the last one of that toy we have. I also checked on our computer. There also doesn't seem to be any more in stock in the other closest exchange store or on our online store. So if you want to get it, better get it now, because I also don't think we're going to be getting any more anytime soon. Smiling like the Grinch when he got a wonderful, awful idea, I said, Thank you. I then immediately proceeded straight to checkout and bought the NERF Youngling Slayer 2000. But the cherry on top was what happened after I bought my new toy. I went back into the store to make sure that the mini Banshee knew what I just bought. I found him still in the shopping cart next to the makeup counter with his mom, talking to a salesperson. I casually walk by in front of the kid with the NERF BFG under my arm, and what happened next was most definitely worth the price tag. The look of shock and fear just completely took over this kid's face as he starts to scream, as well as yank on his mom's sleeves and point at me. I just disappear into another aisle and proclaim that my job was now done. While leaving the store, they must have rushed back to the toy aisle because I again could hear the ear-piercing screeches of that little crotch goblin coming from the toy aisle screaming, It's gone! It's gone! Ah! I usually don't like the sound of screaming kids, but that might as well have been a live Aerosmith performance because that was just pure, audible chocolate to me. And while leaving, I walked past a guy entering the store who could also hear the screaming kid. The guy said, Holy moly, what the heck is that? I replied, Most likely, a mistake. Thank you for reading. The fact that OP took time out of his day to teach this kid a lesson is pretty hilarious. And he gets a NERF Titan CS50? I have to say, it is a pretty amazing unit. Let's check out the comments where Redditors suggest that OP might have saved the mom in this story. Jen said, Mom was most likely hoping the kid would forget about the toy by the time they were ready to leave. If she was actually going to purchase it for him, why not put the toy in the cart and avoid the screaming? Levectra replied, This is what I thought. Parents do this all the time, hoping the kid will forget about it. We'll get it later. We'll get it later. We'll get it later. Later. Oops, I forgot. Oops, it's gone. We'll get it next time. My dad lied to me like that for years as a kid, and that's why I hate him now. Dynamic Duo Mama said, I tell my twin girls frequently that they aren't a pterodactyl, so stop screaming like one. They are two with language delays, so it is definitely something we are working on. For the most part, I either ignore or distract. Sometimes, if you ask a bizarre question, it will confuse them enough they stop. This trick also works with angry drunk people. A good one is, if you can lick your elbow, I will give you a lollipop. They do sound remarkably like screeching dinosaurs. They are also in their dinosaur phase, so sometimes when I say it, they say, "Rawr, I T-Rex, dinosaur, rawr," while stomping, which is thanks to the TV show Dinosaur Train. Story 3 will have you asking which of the neighbors was more entitled. It's called, "My Entitled Neighbor Was Mad That I Took My Shirt Off in My Own House." So, Wednesday, I, 17-year-old female, was sick. I had a fever and just felt really bad. So I was spending most of the day lying in bed. But around noon, I moved to the living room couch because it was getting really hot in my room, and it was cool in the living room. And some context, our living room is filled with large windows that point to the street and my neighbor's house. So I went to the couch and I still felt hot, so I took off my shirt. At that point, I was only wearing short shorts and my bra. So I was laying down for a few minutes when there was a knock on the door and my mom went to go answer it. The living room is right next to the door, so it wasn't hard to hear the conversation. So my mom opened the door and the neighbor, who we'll call Karen, was there and said, "Hi, Susan." My mom, if you need clarification. "How are you doing? I came over to tell you to tell your daughter to cover up." My mom then reasonably said, "Excuse me?" To which Karen replied, "Yes, it's kind of disgusting what she's doing exposing herself like that." My mom, now a bit less patient, said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you could tell me what to do with my kids in my house." Karen then replied, "Oh, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. It's just that my husband's office is right across your windows, and it's hard for him to concentrate on work when there's a naked teen on the other side of his window." My mom, just about as dumbfounded as I was at this point, told Karen, "Okay, 3 things. First, my daughter's not naked. And even if she was, it wouldn't matter because she lives here and she can wear whatever she wants. Second, what is your husband, a 45-year-old man, doing looking at my 17-year-old daughter in her underwear? And third, get off my property because we're done here." And with that, my mom slammed the door in Karen's face. We haven't heard from them since then. And on Friday, my mom bought curtains for the living room windows. So yeah, that was my encounter with our neighbors. The horror. How disgusting. Just kidding. The comments sum up my thoughts, as it seems like OP was covered up more than she would be at a pool. Only a Karen would take it upon herself to tell others how to behave in their own home. I love the mom's response. Let's check out the comments that try to unwrap the mystery of what really happened here. Gimme the Lull says, "Does she ask people to cover up at the pool?" Get in the Llama replied, "Depends if it faces her husband's office." Brat added laughing emojis. Bobo said, "So in the end, the Karen won because your mom got curtains? That sucks." Least Drink said, "Yep, as the mom, I would have started walking around topless until Karen bought curtains." Angel emoji. Sinov said, "F that, don't give that creeper anything he would want to look at. As a dad, I'm walking around in a thong and nothing else anytime that guy is in his office, making sure to make eye contact as often as possible." Smoke Water said, "Did her husband really notice, or was she standing in her husband's office and witnessed the teen removing her top and made an assumption? Seems the only real problem here is the person complaining." Crazy Prince added, "My thoughts exactly." Sam Pao added, "Yes, and if her husband really is looking, she can buy curtains." Story 4 was originally posted on r/amithebutthole, but took a trip to the bathroom and popped up in Entitled Parents. It's called, "Am I the butthole for using the handicap stall in a public bathroom?" Hi, I'm new to this sub. I originally had it posted somewhere else, and someone said it would fit here. So I just wanted to know what you guys think. I, 27-year-old female, had bunion surgery a week ago, and I'm having a hard time getting around right now. I'm using crutches and have finally gotten the hang of them. My mom took me to an appointment a few days ago to check on the healing progression. Now, for more information, this doctor's office is like an hour away from where I live, so on the way back, I had to use the bathroom. It was lunchtime, so my mom pulled into a McDonald's so we could get a cheap lunch and I could go to the bathroom. Another thing to note, I have a hard time getting up from the toilet with the heavy cast and the crutches. As I was in the stall, I heard someone come in the bathroom and huff that the handicap stall was in use. I felt bad, so I tried to hurry up the best I could. It took me longer than expected because, again, I was having issues getting up and had to use the bar on the side. Well, when I finally got out of the stall, this woman started screaming at me that her child, who was in a wheelchair, really needed that bathroom and that I was selfish for using it. She proceeded to yell at me the entire time I was trying to wash my hands. I was holding back tears because I don't like people yelling at me. I feel bad because her child was in a wheelchair, but I still feel like I'm covered and not the butthole. Maybe I'm wrong? Am I the butthole? Definitely not the butthole. And the spicy comments cover why. Let's check them out. The Light of Morning said, "You are temporarily disabled. The mother overreacted." Green Thumb added, "Massively overreacted. At least to me. And if you were my kid, that lady would have gotten an earful from me. For F's sakes, her kid's need for the bathroom doesn't trump your need for the bathroom. You needed those aids. World ain't perfect, and sounds like she waited till last minute to help her kid go. Not your fault at all, not the butthole. P.S. I know you're not a child, but regardless, you get the point." Quoting, "Had bunion surgery, I'm using crutches." Riva Alder said, "All you needed to say, you have every right to use the accessible bathroom. Crutches in a stall is a pain. They are made to be used. The Karen probably still would have yelled at someone in a wheelchair for using the bathroom when she wanted it. Don't feel bad. Also, get well soon." Love is a Red Rose said, "Handicap stalls are accessible to, not reserved for. Able-bodied people are more than welcome to use them if someone else doesn't need them immediately. You certainly are more than welcome to use them. Mom's just used to using her kid's wheelchair to get what she wants and is utterly shameless about doing so. Give those people an immediate invitation to suck a dork. They need one." If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.